Hey, my name is Matt Storr and I repair saxophones for a living, and today I'd like to show you an interesting, thoughtful feature in the Conn 6M alto saxophone. Now, they did this in the transitional range, like from the mid 30s. As soon as they start looking like a 6M, you'll see this up through 6M production. I'm not sure when it stopped, but it did stop before 6M production stopped. Now, what we're looking at here is basically a bushing soldered inside the E-flat tone hole, right? So that's the E-flat tone hole, and you can see there's an extra piece of metal inside there. It doesn't sit up against the pad. It actually sits a little bit below the pad seat, which is that rolled edge there. So the pad doesn't touch it, but what that is it actually sticks into the bore a little bit. Let's see if I can arrange my light so you can see it. So it's just a tiny bit proud of the bore, and what happens is the condensation that forms inside the instrument, and it is condensation, not spit, right? You're blowing warm air into a cold instrument, warm, moist air into a cold instrument, and the inside of the saxophone gets covered in condensation, just like the outside of like a cold beverage can on a hot day. Runs down there and gets all over your E-flat pad, but this keeps it from doing that. A lot of it redirects it and puts it down into the bow, which is not as big of a deal, and you don't have to change your low E-flat pad as much. It doesn't get as grungy, and if you ever had to change saxophone pads, you know the E-flat is typically like a really gross pad, but on 6Ms with this feature, it really isn't. I've seen it called different things, so here's a ad from saxophone.org. You can see what Conn called it. They just said a watershed in the E-flat socket. And it's pretty cool. I mean, it's also something that, they either thought about it beforehand because that's going to shrink the overall diameter of that tone hole, right? Or since E-flat is by itself, you could probably just, add a little bit of opening to the key and get a proper amount of venting to bring that pitch up, because that might bring it down a little bit. But that is original. I've seen people like ask if these, I've actually got a few times where people have asked me if these are original. Did someone put that in there? It'd be possible to do that to a saxophone, but this is actually an original thing that Conn did, and it's really, really cool, I think. I honestly, the 6M is one of the most sort of like well-designed saxophones, in my opinion, and this is just one of the features that kind of sets it apart from everybody else. Really thoughtful design, really cool and interesting. And, they're just great saxophones to begin with, but a lot of the extra things that they did to make these instruments truly special, you just don't see anywhere else. So it's a really unique instrument that had a lot of thought put into its design, and that is just one of the features that makes a Conn 6M special. Hope you found this helpful, useful, and informative. My name is Matt Storr. I repair saxophones for a living. Thanks for watching.